Yo, I absolutely love that opening. It is so dope. So, hey, this is your favorite pastor, Doug Taylor, and tonight's gonna be real cool. So, I'm excited to have you guys on. This is my gifted co-host for tonight, Maya Jolly. I'm sorry, Maya. Let me fix that. Maya, 2021. So she's grown now. She got too cool. She cut off the other two letters. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing great tonight. Demai, we're going to hold it down tonight. I'm really excited about talking tonight because I always love our conversations. One of the reasons that we have this lab Bible study in place is because um, I have so many great conversations with people, and I really, really wish people could be exposed to these conversations. And so I decided that I would bring my life to light and let people hear some of the great conversations I have with smart people like yourself. So tonight's going to be a lot of fun. So as we're getting ready, Demaya, tell us something about yourself. Let everybody know who you are, why you're one of my favorite people.
So, my name is Maya. I'm a project coordinator at a strategies firm here in Birmingham. Pastor Taylor likes me so much because I help him do some of the social media for the church, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind and participate in these events.
I love it. So um, these nights are never scripted. We have thoughts and we always have topics on where we want to go. But as she said, um, I like when people speak their mind. And Demai is one of my favorite people. So we talk a lot. And so we don't really know where tonight's going to go. We do have some concepts we're going to talk about council culture, which is great. Um, but put your questions and comments in the chat, and please share this video. Especially, I want all my young adults to hear this because they help me stay young and fly. You see my shirt. You see my shirt. I'm young and fly. Um, but it helps me learn, and so tonight's gonna be great. So before we get started, I want you to tag at least three people, tag at least three young adults that can get something out of this tonight, because it's gonna be real good, man. It's gonna be a real good conversation. So bam, bam, bam. Yes, if you haven't tagged three people, then your internet's gonna freeze up, and it's gonna be good. So, Demaya, talk at me. We're in our group chat earlier, and you wanted to throw out a concept of council culture. So help me understand. I'm the old guy. We got a couple other people that are going to be coming on, but help me understand this dynamic of this council culture.
So, culture in the aspect we're going to talk about it tonight of the church and to the church. The example I gave was just when people walk into the door, and I know this was something that I personally had done a lot, and I've had to check myself, just like attire or maybe who they came with or something like that. And intentionally, we've already kind of gained this idea of the person. We don't know them. We don't know why they came to the church. We don't know what they're in need of. They're at the church just like we are, trying to learn and get the same lesson that we are. But we've already kind of like brushed them to the side just because they might not look like us or wear the same thing we wear or have the same family, makeup that we have. And I think that makes us as a church kind of lose a little bit of something because we're closing out somebody or some people that could bring something beneficial to us just because of our own biases.
And so in the church, you mean with council culture, church closing itself off from people who may not appear to be like us, or um
Yes, that's one. That's what I have to check myself personally. That's one thing I've been working on. I'm sure there are other aspects as well, but that's one I know I can speak to.
So what's really interesting about that, and especially to hear from a young adult, because that's one of the things that I hear people of your generation say so much about why they dislike church, is because older people are accused of being closed off and hypocritical. So you're telling me that that's not an age thing. So you're saying that at your age, and you're what, 20 what?
24.
24. So it's something you caught yourself doing.
So I have to say, I grew up around older family members and in older generation and culture. So, there wasn't a lot of people my age that I was, with in the church. I'm on the pew by myself, waiting on my aunt or my grandmother to finish this, and that's it. So I would say it's a generational growing up thing, not my. I'm not even a millennial. I think I'm categorized as Generation Z, but I don't think that I fit into that category. No.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting, and I don't even think people know they do it. One of the things I even say about people as we've been in church. One of the issues is we many times forget where we were, or forget how God has blessed us, how God has changed us. And I talked to some young adults at one point having a session like this, and really asked them what made them even be attracted to our church. And one of the things that this was crazy, they didn't say, they said they appreciate the word and all that stuff, but they said more than anything was transparency. That it was a place that yeah, yeah, and it's. I think that's one of the things that I think all believers, if we would all get this element of transparency, how many people it'll help, you know? And we put on our Sunday go to meeting, we want to come in and be our best, but it's interesting. Are people attach more to imperfection and development than perfection, you know?
I think we really have to shed this cloak of, oh, I've been coming to church for all these years. I haven't missed a Sunday. I haven't done this. Therefore, I'm the perfect Christian. Okay, you might have been coming every Sunday and doing this and doing that, but you're the same person you were when you walked in the door 10 years ago. So, so we have to grow. And I'm making sure that, and my friends definitely help me because I've told them, I'm working on this. This is what I need to change. This is what I'm trying to do. And they'll be like, Maya, you're doing it. Check it. Stop. So I think accountability partners are great as well. So, if you can get some of those and let them know your goals and what you're working on and what you think, is not good that you're doing so they can hold you accountable.
That's good. Hold on, my guys. This is about to surprise a lot of people. My guy, my dude, Jermaine Johnson. Let me unmute him. I think you're muted, man. See if I can unmute you.
What's up, Pastor?
What's up, boss? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Listen now, we about to go viral. I got the man, my up and coming deacon, Jermaine Johnson, on the line. How you doing, man? How your day been, man?
I'm good, sir. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. You at the station today?
Yeah. So if I get a run, I gotta go.
I got you. Listen, man. I know y'all. So for those of you that know Jermaine Johnson, he's one of the founders of C4 Mentoring, transforming young men. Literally, I mean, not just in our city, but across the state. Hey, you guys just did a trip to North Carolina, South Carolina?
Yeah, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, so tell us about C4. We're gonna get into the other topic, but help us tell us about C4, how they got started.
What's the mission behind C4 started going on 6 years now. Me and other founder Lavelle Billion, we saw a need in our community to help our boys. We didn't see it, so we created it. Our biggest thing was just trying to be for our boys what we needed growing up. Just trying to be a fixture in the community, trying to help the boys see something they might not see, or have someone that could be an intercessor between their parents or the school. Just a fixture, just someone that could help the guys out when needed, for real.
How many young men have y'all have been through C4 right now?
Oh man, probably about 100 plus, probably about 125 boys we've dealt with over the years. We currently got, probably more than that, because we currently got about 50 boys in the program now, so probably more than that, probably over 300 boys for real, to be honest, over the years. And the biggest thing now was just seeing our boys that we started the program with 6 years ago, that were sixth graders. They'll be seniors next year in high school, so that's gonna be crazy seeing the full transition of adolescence.
So, and we're gonna get back to our topic. What is one of the things that our young men need the most? As you've been working with them, what is one of the most critical elements that you've seen was a need for?
Definitely an outlet. I think what's happened over the years, what I've seen, there's a disconnect between the generations, right? So I feel like the generations between our generation, what I would say between the 30, 34 to maybe the 43-year-olds, at what didn't connect the generations. So now guys that's like 15, 16, they don't really listen to older guys, right? But we're not out there giving them the ear that they need to listen. Like when we were younger, I enjoyed listening to older guys talk, have conversation, see what they thought. But the young boys now, they don't listen to older guys. And we're those older guys that's kind of in between, but we're not stepping up, giving them that safe place to talk. So I definitely feel like we got to be more committed to giving those guys the support they need to just help them be young men for real.
So Demai, that goes back, and so Jermaine, I know you were handling business at the station, but what we're actually talking about is this dynamic of what's labeled the council culture. You know, you don't like something, and so you kill it. Right. You don't agree with it, so you kill it. And it happens across every genre in culture, in pop culture, in music. We were specifically talking about it from a church standpoint, but I think you just brought out something that is a reason, even as we look at in church, this disconnect. You know, this disconnect, this gap in between, so that even when we have a difference, like you said, listen to older guys and learning from them. I think that's one of the things that causes this council culture is not having this gap to understand that we may be different, but I need something you have, you know, right. And really taking the time to understand why do you believe like you believe, you right. know. I hear people say all the time, well, you judging me, or, you know, I don't want to be judged. And the problem with that is it's not always judging. Sometimes it's just, I'm trying to help you because I've lived that.
Right.
You know, Charleston's coming on now. So tonight we're just gonna be talking, we're just gonna be jumping in and out. So Demai, how do you think we fix that? This gap between us?
I'm not sure how we exactly fix it, but I definitely agree. And I think both generations have a problem with just constructive criticism. Like, just maybe give me an example, telling a family member, you know, or like how you all did the what is it, the Enneagram, the test, and you all now know how to communicate with one another. Sometimes you can tell a family member, you know, this is how I need to be communicated with or something, and they'll tell you, well, this is how I'm going to do it. Like, you know, this is just, you know, how I do things. And you have to be able to listen, adjust to what that person has told you, and then kind of grow from that. And I think in order for us to fix the problem of the communication that isn't there, we have to listen. And it won't always be what, you know, we want to hear. Sometimes things we have been doing for years, someone might tell us that we've been doing it wrong for years, but we have to be able to accept that and not necessarily jump at the person or down the person's throat because it wasn't what we wanted to be told.
So one of the reasons that I wanted to invite Jermaine on is I can handle pressure. I want to talk about how is it, or how do we navigate through the council culture in the church and on the church. I'll be honest, when Jermaine and I first met, he was a church killer. He was a church killer. Sat down, we had a dinner, and I didn't think I was gonna make it out of the room without pulling my pistol, but I was ready. I was ready for all of them. I've grown to love this young man and value what he does. And we have we had a conversation yesterday just on your Facebook post about the way different people handle church. And so help me understand that, man, what it is about the church, why the church is an easy target, what the church needs to do. Because I'm honest, I don't think the church always get a fair shake. I also believe sometimes the church does stuff to demand criticism, right? But, you know, help me out.
Excuse me. For one reason, I think the church is an easy target because, just like bullies, they like to pick on people that don't like to fight back, right? So most of the time, the church, they go the easy route. They go, whatever you believe, that's on you. Or one of the favorite things that people say when they don't have an opinion. This is what I've learned as I got older. When people don't have an opinion, the easiest thing to say is, I don't discuss religion or politics. Most of the time when people say that, they don't have a real solidified opinion on anything. It's an easy way to end the conversation. So what I see is it's an easy target for real. That's why a lot of people pick on them. So I think one of the benefits and the one thing I respect about you for sure is, like, regardless of if I agree with what you say or if I don't agree, you have a legitimate reason behind your conversation. It's always rooted in, it is not always rooted in pure fallacy of scripture. I mean, it's real talk behind it. It's your opinion plus the scriptures. It's your opinion supported with scripture and experience. So I gotta respect it, even if I don't believe it. I gotta respect it. And I think a lot of times people don't have those support systems. They give you pure scripture, and it's pure fairy tale, and that's what get people that's not so far in that lifestyle. That's what kind of piss people off.
That's pretty good. You might say something, Demaya?
I think I understand what he's saying. Some people need the scripture plus real life experience. Some people, they're saying, okay, this happened X amount of years ago. Tell me something that happened yesterday to where you apply what you read in this, in the book. So I definitely understand where Jermaine is coming from. I think the church has been getting hit hard for years. And like Jermaine said, we haven't really been, not even fighting back. We just haven't been saying anything. We've kind of been like, oh, well, the people that are here, and we'll keep teaching them. But where we are right now, we can't just teach the people that are here. We have to go and get the people who may not have known the Lord before all of this stuff happened, these last recent years, who've seen something transform that they've never seen before. Like, God showed them right then and there, you cannot sit here and tell me that I did not just do this for you.
Right. And even with that, like, the reality of it, the Jesus that I heard about was not the Jesus in the pulpit. You know what I mean? The Jesus, he was in the streets dealing with the people that was on the corner, like pretty much heckling Jesus. Like, he was okay with the hecklers. So, like, if you're not solidified in your religion or your thoughts to deal with the hecklers, like, I mean, you kind of weak anyway. You're not a Christian I want to be around nowhere.
And I'll give this to Pastor Taylor. Like, no one can say Pastor Taylor is not in the streets with his congregation. You have some pastors that don't leave the pulpit. You can't guide me from the pulpit. I need you walking in front of me. Is that, what I'm saying? Like, you don't always have to go on this journey with me, but I do not need to see you only in the pulpit or in the church walls preaching right there, because you're only reaching me. Well, and the others online. But the people who aren't online or who are not in the sanctuary, once they see you in their neighborhoods, helping their community grow from what it is, they'll come to the church. Sometimes they have to be shown, just, hey, come to church. This is what we do. I'm sure they've gotten that same, speech for years.
So I think what's interesting about that is too, and I get it. So this is a change. In former years, what mattered about a church was if you got good preaching, good word, and good work. Yeah. So church has evolved. The world has evolved. Like, the world has gotten so much smaller because of the internet, social media. The world's so much smaller, and now people are more committed to causes. It's amazing how many people gauge a church is not on. Now, this is the drawback. I think you have people that engage a church not on the relevance of the word, not on the closest to Jesus, but whether or not they're doing community stuff. Right. And so I think that's where you start getting to a fine line. And so, like. Perfect example. People start talking about what was the church doing, when they had shootings in the community. Well, the church is not police. The church ain't the police department. The church supposed to get people ready for heaven, not be a police department. That's not fair. That's the council culture people use against the church, because I say all the time, if you gauge a frog on his ability to fly, he's always going to fail a test. Right. I think we have a clarity on what is the church's mission. It is to get people committed to know Jesus, ready for heaven. But within that, you got to know the scope, you got to know the strengths, and you got to know the staff of that church. Like, I know my strength. I'm a teacher. What God told me to do is teach people how to live in 3 areas: their faith, their families, and their finances. That's what I'm good at. That's what I do. And so there are certain things that matter to me. And I know the partners I have. I got educators, I got counselors, I got HR people. So I can do a job fair because I got the teamwork to do that. Another church ain't got HR professionals, so we can't say, well, y'all help nobody get a job. That ain't what they call to do. Right. You know, but I do see the benefit of rounded ministry, but I don't think the church always get a fair shot.
But what I will say in that same thought, I just think like how the church has evolved. Even during the civil rights movement, like the church was everything for everybody. I mean, like we did everything in the church. So I just feel like now that field that we had, and in that same situation, people that weren't Christians or weren't members of the church were coming to civil rights meetings or organizational meetings. They were coming for this particular thing, but they might have the pastor of the church might have been in that situation and said a word that kind of grabbed them. Well, he might have been in the trenches with them fighting, so they might have got an interest in him because of what he did for them during that time. It had nothing to do with religion. So I think now it's just more of a, like you said, it's more a focus point where people are expecting a lot more from the church, but they're not getting what they're getting.
I think that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, and we can all. So we've had this conversation. I believe that there are certain things that are just equitable. People just need. One of the things I say is Jesus didn't just feed the 5,000 people that were saved. You know, he didn't just say, you know, I'm gonna heal the folks if you confess me. I believe that Jesus was equitable. He cared about all people. And so I don't believe that you only help people in the church. We help all people. Like some of the things that we're doing that we have a project going on now that we are raising funds so that we can help offset the cost of diversionary court to keep young men and women out of jail. You know, that's not a Christian. That's not has nothing to do with our church. That's about equity and justice. Justice should not be a Christian thing. Justice is a civil thing. You know. And so when I find that there are young men and women who unfortunately look like us, that they don't have a $500 or $600 to pay a cost to go to a court to stay out of jail, we want to come alongside and help them. That ain't because they saved. That's just because we want to be civil. Right. But I can't. But again, you got to understand what is the main mission of the church. So in that, if we use that as a tool or strategy to get them to know Jesus, even if they don't, it's a well-rounded ministry, like you said, ministry to the whole.
And I think the masses respect them more. I mean, like everybody doesn't appreciate being force-fed Jesus. Like me, I wouldn't like. You'll get more. Just my thoughts. I mean, you'll get more people with the work than you will the conversation.
Say that again.
I mean, this is my thought. I feel like you'll get more people with the work than you will the conversation.
That's interesting. So that's an interesting take. If we was in church, I'd say more people with the works than the words. But we'll practice that when you go through my minister training class.
You'll clean up. You'll clean up for me.
We're gonna get you right. You know, but here's the interesting thing about that, Owen, and this is the question. That doesn't all. It's crazy. People have different interests for church because you have some people that love the Lord, but their passion is not community service. Right. It's getting closer to God. And so again, that goes back to the whole council culture of, gauging. See, not believe every person that came to Jesus wanted something. Everybody wanted something. Some people wanted to be healed. Some people didn't want to go to hell. Some people wanted their needs met. And so whatever it takes for whatever bait God uses or whatever people are going after to get to Jesus, that's their right. I don't think we should ever say that it's wrong because somebody's coming looking for this just because that ain't what you're looking for. Some people come, everybody don't come because they broke or because some people just want to make sense of their life. You know, the rich young ruler, he didn't want no money. He was like, I just want my life to be better. So and I think that goes back to what Maya was talking about the council culture, gauging people, saying they're wrong for wanting that from God.
Right.
How y'all came to God wanting that? Well, everybody came to God wanting something, you know? That's good stuff.
Definitely. I agree with that. But it goes back to everybody can't take that challenge. Like everybody can't express it in that manner. And I come to say, hey, Pastor, I've been a member of the church for like 2 or 3 years. I would like to see y'all do more outreach with youth, right? And you give me the conversation that you just gave me, like I said before, even if I don't like it, I gotta respect it. Like any logical adult will be able to respect the conversation we just had. But if you come to me like, well, here at First Baptist, we just don't do it like, come on, you gotta give me something better than that, bro. Like, I'm not understanding that.
And that's what I told Pastor Taylor. We just have to be more accepting to suggestions and change. Not us as Rebirth, but us as a faith.
And even as with the suggestions, us as adults giving suggestions, we got to be okay with what we get back from the suggestion. Like, okay, I heard it, but that's not what we do here.
That's big. That's big because everybody can't take that.
Yeah, fact.
And then if you're not happy with what they do, if they've already told you this is not what we do, you leave. If you don't like, you can't force a church to change, especially one that's been doing the same thing for X amount of time. Right. So you have to then find a church home intentionally that has the needs that you're looking for. Sorry, my class is starting.
So, and even with that, I think people try to with churches, like we got to be real. Like a church is a relationship. It's like it's just like another relationship. Like you gotta foster the relationship. So if you're not getting what you want from that church, you can't make the church change. You gotta find a new church. You gotta find a new, just like a girlfriend. You gotta find a new girl. Like at some point, it ain't the same. Like we tried this, it didn't work. I didn't get back in the dating field.
Okay, so let me throw this. Let me throw this because this is where me and some young adults fall out. Not fall out, where there's challenge. I believe if you don't challenge people, you don't care about them. That's just the truth. I show my love for you by how I challenge you to live a better life. So one of the things that comes into play is because I've been hearing, and not just from young adults, but I'm hearing all my don't forget you got to clock in for class, the class you're not going to. So I've been hearing all my saved life since I've been a pastor, and I know my personality. I'm a delegator. I'm an empower, and I've been saying for the past 2 years I'm giving away influence. So I'm putting folks in place and putting them up because I don't want people to see me. But how this becomes a challenge when people say the church should do this, right? Why aren't we doing this? This is something that I think we should do. And the next statement is, you're right. Why don't you do it? And then you got a bunch of excuses. Well, I ain't got time and I got this. And so I start saying, don't bring me no more work. I got a whole lot of work to do on my own. And so as you're pointing out problems, be part of the solution. Well, now I gotta braid my hair. I got to get my sew in. I got to do all this. Well, no. So that's don't just start making a grocery list of something that you're not going to put in them. Even when I was in the street, if you want a particular bottle of liquor, I should say that, if you want something that's off the menu, you got to put in on it. If you living off my budget, if you drinking off my budget, you're going to drink what I can afford. If you want to drink something special, put something in on it.
Right.
Come on, Demaya. But you here tonight, so Demaya, you good.
I'm just going to say, you're right. You're absolutely right. And most of the time when I bring something to you, you do slide it on back to me to do it. And, I try to get it done because, I did bring it to you and I do have the capabilities of doing so. And I do think a lot of people put a lot of unrealistic expectations on, I'm going to say the pastors, because I feel like a lot of people move like the pastor does everything in the church. Like the pastor, he does lead the church, but you have to realize he does not handle all this by himself. So you have to think about, okay, does he have the team, like you said, to make these things happen? And if he doesn't have the team, either you're going to have to create the team or you are the team. So,
and that's a way to eliminate a lot of freelance opinions and ideas once you put the work back to you. So like it's like one of the things that like me and Lavelle does, that's the other co-founder of C4, right? So when people come to us with ideas and all these like these wonderful plans, we say like what we found is like we're like, yeah, definitely like we're cool because we're open program, like we don't know it all. We're looking for help. So what we say is we're giving you full autonomy to make this happen. Just let us know what you need.
Right.
And as soon as we do that, it's phantom. Like they disappear. Like there's no more ideas, suggestions, or anything. Like they don't want to do the work. They just want to give you the idea to make the work happen. They have nothing to support the idea, or they have no support for you for the idea. They just give you stuff to do what they want to see. And you can't function like that.
Well, and I'm gonna be honest, because I mean, I tell folks I make a living being honest. The Lord, I pay my bills telling the truth. The truth behind this is it happens in your organization, it happens in church organizations, it happens in PTAs, it happens in schools, it happens in communities, that most people are more willing to go to the council culture, find something to criticize as opposed to being a part of the solution.
Right.
You know, don't give me no more. I'm having a challenging enough time managing the stuff that's my assignment. Children are not my assignment. I didn't do well at children's ministry when I had children. I mean, you know. Come on.
And with the council, like you said, with the council, like as soon as you don't agree to it or you don't make it happen, it's well, I tried, I gave my idea, they didn't do nothing with it. No, I returned your idea to you to make it happen, and you didn't do anything with it. Now they put a smut on your name.
Yeah, y'all was terrible at that. I'm glad the Lord done moved on you, man, because y'all was terrible. You gave churches hell, man.
Yeah, I understand now. I get it. I respect it. I get it. I'm gonna still give him hell, but no, I'm gonna give. You gonna give him hell with a little certain situations. I don't get a conglomerate hell. I'm gonna get certain situations hell. Now, like you said, I'm a bully now. If you let me bully you, I'm gonna keep bullying
you. Go on, Dumaya.
I was just going to bring up the Lil Nas thing, like just the post I made, because people I'm not going to like go into it. People just gave it a lot of energy, and I guarantee you, Pastor Taylor, they haven't given the church that much energy in years. I'm like, I haven't even seen you make a scripture post. You haven't said you were going to volunteer. You haven't even shared the post saying, oh, we have church on Sunday virtually. Yet you're arguing, let alone just making one post and letting it go. You're giving energy and time and going back and forth and back and forth. But you're not this active in the sanctuary. I just felt like the energy was just wasted. Not wasted, because if you are telling people about the God you serve and what you're doing, great. But it was a lot of people kind of just going over the point that I think he was trying to make was the only reason I even made this was because so many of you condemned me here.
So that didn't make sense.
Trolling. He knew what he was going to get. He knew the feedback, everything, I feel like. And he only did it because he was like, when I tried to come into this place, I wasn't given the energy like he felt like I guess he needed. And so I just feel like we as a church should try to not reach out to him because, you know, I feel like he is doing what he's doing. He's where he is. But we have the obligation in our community to reach out to Black men who might be like him, who might not be accepted in their families, who might already be going through something, who might have come to the church thinking that if no one else will help me, the people of God who are supposed to be, you know, down here on this earth to assist us will give me some guidance. But yet when they might walk into our doors, we're already like, nah.
So let me say this. So this is where I get challenged in this, and y'all help me, because I don't think all challenge is condemnation, and you gotta be at a certain point just out of fairness, and then we don't know what he got. We don't know what counsel he got. We don't know what people said to him or did to him. But you know, I didn't know as long as for the amount of time I've been doing this, sometimes if you disagree with what somebody does, they think you're attacking them. No, just because I disagree with your action don't mean I disapprove you as a person. But you and I'm not just talking about his issue, but you gonna make me like you, or you gonna make me like certain issues. Like you're not gonna make me okay with the fact that you cheat on your wife. You know, I mean, I can't. No, you got to stop that. Right. You know, I don't know. That's y'all got to help me with that, because I don't think that's necessarily fair to tell somebody that you gotta love. I can love you as a person, but not love your practices. You know?
No, I'm not saying love his practices. I honestly and truly, I still don't really. I don't understand what he thought was going to happen with that, besides the negative energy that he got. But I didn't think it would get that much energy, Pastor Taylor. And after I was on social and people were kept like talking about it I was like, oh wow, this is a huge thing. But I also said people condemn our religion all the time. This time it was just on a major, platform. And I think our job is to continue living our Christian lifestyle so that people know that we are doing the right thing. Like this is who we are. We're doing what God has instructed us to do. We have to live by example. We don't have to argue. We don't have to go back and forth. Show them, like Jermaine said, some people need actions. They want to see it.
But I do think you have to argue though. I do think you have to go back and forth sometimes. I think that's necessary. Like I'm not saying like defend your religion at every drop of a dime. I'm not saying that for sure. But I am saying that you have to be okay with challenging. Like you can't be so submissive or docile that you any side of conflict you retreat.
Oh, I 100% agree. Never me.
But I think that's a lot of religious folks. I wouldn't even say Christians. I would say religious folks. I think that's their first line of defense is to run and let Jesus handle it. But I mean, like,
and Jesus is here to handle it. We are his soldiers, therefore we're supposed to handle some of the situations ourselves. That's why he's equipped us and educated us to do so.
Right.
But he said something that's good, because the thing about it is people miss. So this is one of the reasons why I even say people like young adults and especially young men, black men rejected church is because of the Jesus that was painted. Like Jesus was painted as first off, he was not blue-haired, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, based on the reason he lived in, couldn't have been. But then these pictures we see that Jesus is quaint, he's timid, and he's looking like an Ola Mills picture. When the fact is, Jesus, if you're a carpenter, you're gonna have biceps and forearms. You know, Jesus he was forceful. I mean, he was bold, he was courageous. So he wasn't this meek dude. And so if that's the picture of Jesus that we paint in church, I wouldn't want to identify, because I can't identify with a weak guy. I mean, say weak guy. I can identify with a timid guy because I don't have a timid personality. You know, and if anything, the Bible says that because the disciples have been with Jesus, they became bolder. And so timid men and timid man and Christian man are oxymorons. Being with Jesus make me bold in the marketplace, bold in my family, bold when it comes to the devil. And so this timidity, when you see weak men and they don't look like guys, dude. Peter was Jesus' main guy. When he getting ready to be crucified, he pulled out a knife, cut a dude's ear off. That's the kind of guy, the guys that Jesus recruited. And so we didn't paint that picture.
But like I said, I think that's the exact opposite. And I think that's why quote unquote Christians are so okay with being docile, because what would Jesus do? You know what I mean? It's like one of the things like Jesus ain't finna, I'm not finna go back and forth with you because it's not what, you know what I'm saying? It's just, and I just think that's just a cop out for real.
Most of what it is, really, bro, many Christians cannot explain why they believe what they believe. Exactly. That's really what it boils down to.
Exactly. I agree.
You're right on it. And the Bible says that we're supposed to be able to give an answer for why we believe what we believe. We're supposed to be able to tell people, if somebody said, why you believe Jesus? Because, because archaeology said that the Bible is true. You can go back and you can look at history and find artifacts and cities that the Bible described. You know, you can go back and you can find manuals and documents and newspapers that describe the same events that the Bible talked about. You know, so I ain't got to think just nothing I pull out my head. If science confirmed the Bible, dude, how is it that Isaiah, I think it's chapter 14, thousands of years ago said that there are innumerable stars? Well, Galileo said there was 1,600 stars. The Bible said that there was innumerable stars. Then you get a telescope in 1960 and realize that the stars are can't be counted. The Bible said that before technology.
Right.
So who would know how many stars unless the one that created the stars? You see what I'm saying? When you start talking like that, logical, intelligent thinkers say, you know what? Even if I ain't there, at least I got to give some consideration.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I believe, like you said, if you can't explain why you believe what you believe, you hide behind Jesus, as opposed to saying, you ain't got to believe me, but this is why I believe this. And it's not just because the Bible said, it's because I have proof. Because if you say you read a book about the Medes and the Maccabees, and that's what you believe, well, who said your book better than my book? Both are saying what you said.
Right.
You ain't write yours, I ain't write mine. You just chose to believe yours. I choose to believe mine. I mean, I don't run from it. I mean, I'm here for all of it. I enjoy it. Some of my best friends are of different faiths because they help me sharpen my axe, not to argue, but to be able to defend my truth.
Right. It's needed. It's definitely appreciated. I think you have gained the respect of the people that I associate with on social media just off those particular stances. I mean, like people, I definitely feel like people appreciate your stances on many things. You know what I mean? Because y'all, it's
an honor.
Because of the conversations that I have, won't many pastors comment. And I mean, Pastor Hallman is another pastor that's not scared of the confrontation. He's with it. But it's not many, man. It kind of makes you wonder, like what's going on with you.
Yeah, well, it's you got to think. You got to think. If you think the Bible was written by intelligent men, and if you approach the scripture from an intelligent standpoint, you can properly defend what you believe. And the only reason the problem with that is too few Christians spend time reading the Bible, preparing to explain what they believe.
Right.
That's just the issue. And so they get, like you said, they get bullied.
Yeah.
You know, or they try to become something. Like people always saying, well, what the church gonna do? We're gonna do what it was doing before this. You know, you're not gonna make me change my assignment to avoid you saying something about me.
Yeah, in fact, it is what it is with that. If that's your win is gonna change your seal, you're gonna be out there for a long time.
Dude, you always gonna be trying to dodge the heat. You can't dodge the heat. Somebody always got something to say about it.
No, fact. That's just part of it. And that's why I've got to the point now where I just try to let people make it as much as possible. One of the things, and one of the conversations that I had with Lavelle was he was just about talking about how people deal with situations like whatever it is that makes you comfortable in dealing. I'll make you a better person. I'll make you a good person. Like, let them be okay with that. I mean, I can't make you feel the way I feel. I can't make you think the way I think to be a good person. That's not my goal. Whatever your beliefs is, whatever your thoughts are, whatever your religion is, that's gonna make you be the best person. I mean, that's really the end game. Like that's the goal for real. Like if you say you going to heaven, I say I ain't going to heaven. Our belief on heaven, that's two different things. But on earth, if you're a good person, I feel like we can make things work.
Well, this is again where I think if we can stand and we can defend it. And I always say this too: every issue ain't got to be lived out in the public. When you do that, right, that's when people start defending.
Right.
So that's good. Demaya, so give us your thought. What do we need to do? What do we need to do to get better at all of this? And especially for the church not being victims of counseling people. How do we deal with people and their differences and it's all being understanding?
Listen and work together. Like, you both know the goals. If you know, okay, well, I don't think we can take this route, but I think we can work together, doing this, doing that. I'm comfortable doing this. Move at other people's paces. Sometimes everybody doesn't move as fast as you do. I know sometimes I take off and I'm like, okay, I've been doing this a while. Slow down, let other people, learn what you already know. I think a lot of us forget that we all have to be educated, and we talk, and sometimes we're talking over people's head. Don't assume everybody is where you are. So make sure you have an understanding of what they're asking you to do as a church member or for the church. And then if if you cannot do that, or if you need someone else to help them do that, say that. But I think the main thing we can do is be open, communicate, and move forward.
I think from both sides. I think these kind of conversations are great. When people of my generation, and I still want to do that. I want to have a sit down, a meeting of the minds, to have people from my generation and people from your generation to sit down at a round table and say, what do we both need to learn from each other? What do I need to learn from you? My daughter, I had to learn the day I realized that when my daughter said, or whatever, the day I realized that wasn't an attack, my whole life changed. My generation, if you said to me, or whatever, what you mean, or whatever? Those fighting words. I had to realize that don't mean the same thing, for our culture. Those are the kind of conversations that we need to have. And then from my generation to, she said to me one day, she said, I'm done with it. I'm like, done with it? What you mean? Dad, I'm just done. Just done. Dude, out. Hey, we almost had a Kirk Franklin, boy. We almost had a Kirk Franklin. But
I'm gonna give you that one, Pastor Taylor, because when I say I'm done with it, I'm more than likely being a little smart, because I'm not gonna go back and forth about it. Like, you got it.
I couldn't handle that. They had to help me understand it don't mean the same thing. They had to learn me a little bit. I have to learn them, but these are kind of conversations, even across age, across beliefs, to sit down and say, okay, what is our meeting point? How can we understand each other better? Because I really think most times, and I'll say this, I take it back to a biblical example. Bible says that David, in Psalm 78 says, David reigned because of skillfulness of hand and integrity of heart. Said two things. He had good hands and a good heart. You look at Elijah. Elijah was old. He was running out of energy. Elisha was young. He had energy, but he didn't have the wisdom. When you can bring an Elijah and an Elisha together, that I got the wisdom, you got the energy, let's work together. We can get amazing things done. Because you got more energy than I got. I got more wisdom than you got. Doesn't mean I'm smarter. I have more wisdom because I have more experiences. And those are the kind of conversations we need to have so that we can, not cancel each other out. Because we all come thinking that we right. And can't nobody tell me nothing. Or this way it's supposed to be done. And we hurt the overall goal when we do that.
One thing I've learned just from the work world is age matters. Some people cannot take some things from people that are younger. They just can't. And I don't really know how you change that.
I think it's the way you guys say it. One of the things that happened with my generation is, it happens with every generation. My mother is 83, and then the 30, she's 82. Well, we go to meetings together, we go to doctor's appointments, and if the physician starts talking to me, she starts feeling offended because she say, you act like I ain't here. And she wants to make sure that she's heard. So she gave her nurse hell because she felt like she was being overlooked. It's the same thing happens in every generation. So if my generation feel like y'all overlooking us, then y'all are ostracized. Then y'all the villain. The same thing happened with like Jermaine said at the beginning. This younger generation don't want to listen to this one, and this generation said you ain't listening to me. So now it's a fight to see who gonna listen to who. And so if you want to be heard, you have to approach people in a way that they still feel valued. If you come in and tell me that all my stuff dumb, I don't know why you do that. That's the wrong way. Well, listen, I failed you. Evidently, I wasn't too crazy because I put you through college. You see what I'm saying? I had a young man say, he said the other generation failed them because he said, y'all went to work and y'all didn't build no businesses. Y'all were not entrepreneurs. You just taught us to go work for the man for 40 years and then get your rock until y'all was weak. But wait a minute, bro. Me working for that man put you through school. So don't come back and say that I'm a failure. You wouldn't have what you have if it weren't for me. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's a wrong approach.
Come on, Jermaine, you muted.
I will say one thing about the council culture as far as being okay with it. I definitely think that the churches that do, or the pastors that do, can't let the churches and the pastors that don't ride the wave. You know what I mean? I think y'all got to be okay with canceling. And I don't know if that's something that's I'm sure it is frowned upon in the Christian faith, but you got to be okay with disassociating yourself with the BS, right? I think one of the things is it's kind of getting churches a bad rap is because the bad churches, quote unquote, are getting looped in with the good churches, right? So we're all there. Everybody's under one umbrella as far as the Christianity, the Jesus umbrella, but everybody ain't doing the same work. So I think one of the ways to build support in your particular in your faith for sure is calling the people that doing the work. You got to call them out. So you got to, at some point you got to cancel certain situations because they put a dimmer on the light or a dimmer on the face. Just like gangbang. Like if you in the set, right, and you false flag, and I gotta say something to you. I can't let you keep walking around with your flag on, and you ain't legit. So I think that's what's happening in the faith. Like people are wearing the flag, but they ain't putting the work. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that's one of the things to where the cancel culture is on faith right there.
I'll also say
that's tough. That's tough, bro.
Churches being looped in together. You know, a big cancel culture going on right now is the mega churches, because it looks like every week one of the pastors has like a scandal or something coming out, and a lot of that flack is being sent to, you know, all of the churches. Meanwhile, we don't have those funds, we don't have those cars, and we're not doing those things. We're actually, you know, still putting in the community work. So you definitely have to pay attention to each church. Each church is different. Each church has a different ministry. Each church serves the community differently. And you can't just throw the blanket over it.
But as a non-believer, quote unquote, I just say I'm on the other side. I don't really, is it really my job to dissect Christians?
No.
No, you say no, right?
Right.
No.
So exactly. So if it's not my job to dissect Christians, all quote unquote all Christians should look alike to a non-believer. I should see some similarities of Christianity or believers in each situation. So when I don't go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
So when I don't see these things in certain situations, I must, and I speak on it, I call on this. I don't feel like I'm wrong. And when I do speak on this, I feel like the people that see the same thing I see, they should stand in joins with me, saying, okay, I feel you, I see the same thing you see, but this is how it should go.
So what you're saying,
this is what makes it difficult. This is what makes it difficult. Man, it's a great conversation, because I'll be the first one to say, church has made it, like I said, made it easy for us to be attacked on some things. I'm guilty of doing some dumb stuff. You know, I started when we started pastoring our church. We started our church 20 years ago. I was probably 25, 26, something like that. I didn't have the wisdom I had now. I know I did some dumb stuff. I never got involved in anything illegal, nothing crooked, none of that stuff. But I did some stuff that people would say that was a dumb idea. Why would he do that? You know, the issue with that is we don't all know what we're doing. And so some stuff we do know. But I'm saying all that to say, I learned that you have to be really careful about criticizing what people do because you don't know what they are. I learned this when it comes to ministry and money, marriage across the board. As a parent, I learned to never criticize a guy who's at a level I've never been because I don't know what it takes to be there.
Right.
I said stuff I wouldn't do that for my kids. You spent too much until I had kids. Then I realized, you know what? I'm a hypocrite. The other thing is the problem when people who are non-believers judge the church. We may judge each other, but it's difficult for me to come alongside a non-believer and judge the church because sometimes they go too far. I'm gonna say, all right, brother, you need to do better, blah, blah. Y'all gonna be like, that dude going to hell. He'll hustle, he'll pimp. And I'm like, he ain't that bad. And so I can't stand with them to talk about us. It's just like, I'll talk about my family. I ain't gonna let you talk about my family.
Right. I agree.
Because I'm gonna only go so far. You gonna say he'll hoe, he'll pimp. All I'm gonna say is, dude, he made a mistake. You gotta fix it. They go way too far. So
I agree.
Yeah. I'm gonna judge with some love and some compassion. Other folks, they had to kill.
Yeah, I agree. That's understandable.
That's good.
But a logical person gotta understand that though. You gotta be logical to understand that.
Yeah. Because
most people don't disagree with logic though.
Most.
Yeah.
Some. You got some people that they just gonna believe what they're gonna believe. It don't matter what you say. I learned when President Trump was running for office, I learned during his candidacy, if somebody want to be for you, it ain't nothing you can do to make them against you. And if they want to be against you, it ain't nothing you can do to make them for you. If they want to be, some folks want to be against the church. It don't matter what we do. It don't matter if we walk on water. They'll say it's because we can't swim. you just can't win. You know.
Yeah.
So, but this is good. This helps us be better. I really appreciate y'all being on tonight. This is a great conversation, and I really believe somebody can get something from this. Somebody from my generation, somebody from your generation, somebody from my faith, somebody from your faith, and we can all get on. All of us have different vantage points, but the same way we can agree and disagree and still be respectful. I believe that's the way that we can get rid of cancel culture. If we, as Miles said, just communicate. You know, nobody has it all, and none of us perfect. From a Christian faith, the Bible says none of us are perfect, and I realize I have too many faults to start blaming people, and I believe I can do more to help a person if I pray for them and give them information to try to strengthen them than automatically cut them off. I made way more mistakes than I even talk about, but people prayed for me. They were patient with me. They assisted me in my saved and unsaved days.
Right.
So I'll be wrong to say that I got it together now. Look at me. Now, every day I'm more conscious of one of the reasons I do what I do is, and why I'm so grateful is, with all my flaws, God still lets me do what I do. And I couldn't do without him. Because he looked past all my dumb to let me do what I do, I got to be willing to look past other people's dumb too.
Right.
Don't mean I excuse it, but try to be more gracious and more patient.
Right.
It's going to help us all. Demaya, thank you for your time. Jermaine, I appreciate you, man. I know you're at the station taking care of people, and grateful that you didn't have. You said that if you didn't have a call, you'd be on, and you're a man of your word. So.
It was Jesus looked out for us on this one.
Wait, which Jesus? Which Jesus?
Your homeboy.
I love it. So, Jermaine, would you be willing to come back on again?
Yeah, I'll come back. I'm gonna bring some homeboys next time.
Bring them. Hey, I'm here for it. I'm gonna get them saved. They're gonna be tired. They're gonna be ushered. We're gonna be baptized.
Go cash out your offer and everything.
Listen, hey, while y'all are laughing about it, I really do want to give people opportunity to connect to this Jesus that has absolutely changed my life. I found whenever I find something good, I want to share with people that I care about. And so I know that Jesus has absolutely changed my life, brought me from frustration to a state of hope, to a state of peace, changed my character, my nature, and made me be a better man, better husband, better father. And so I want to give you the opportunity tonight as well. If you're watching online and you say to Pastor, I want to start a relationship with God or give my life to Jesus or connect to a local church, you can go to this website, rebirthchristian.org/connect card. I never say we got a perfect church because I'm there. Okay, if I said, if you ever find a perfect church, don't join because you're going to mess it up. But it's a great church that values people, that lives to honor Jesus. And I know that you can grow, help you grow in your faith and your family and your finances. You may say, I don't need a church, but I do want to connect to Jesus. Go to that website, click on the link. Somebody's going to be there to pray with you, help you make a decision to honor Jesus with your life or recommit your heart. And I know you will be blessed. Hey, I love y'all, man. Tonight has been good. And we do what we do because of what you do. So do you have an opportunity to give? Yeah, you get an opportunity to give. Why? Because as you give, we do stuff like support C4 mentoring. Absolutely. So those young men were on a trip because of your donations. You can give on our website or Cash App, Rebirth Christian, however you choose to do so. We make it convenient, but I want you to have conviction. When you give to us, we give to others. And hey, as a young man right here that can testify what we do to bless other people. So I love y'all. I'm grateful. I hope y'all got blessed tonight. I had a lot of fun. Demaya, thank you with the Aaliyah head rag. You know, you represented. You got it done. So thank y'all for sharing with us. And we have y'all back on. Before y'all go off, tag some people, share this video, and invite somebody to this space. You just might help them.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to say I appreciate the Rebirth Church for sowing into C4. Since the beginning, for real, like it hasn't been anything y'all did, particularly this time or this trip that y'all hadn't been doing in the years before. So I definitely appreciate y'all for everything y'all sold into us. It does not go in vain for sure.
I love it. I love it. Good stuff, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all night, and I'm sure at least one of y'all gonna be texting or inboxing me with the stuff that you didn't want to say online.
Sure, I see you, Pastor.
All right, see you. Hey, see both of y'all Sunday.
Bye.
Oh, wait.
Oh, hey, before we do close, so if you're looking, if many people are asking, are we having in-person worship service? Yes, we are having in-person service. Our services are 11 o'clock in the building. We'd love for you to come by and to hang out with us. We do social distancing, checking temperatures, wearing masks. It's going to be a powerful service. Hey, Sunday's going to be hot. I'm teaching on the faith factor. You should be there. So it's going to be a great day. Love to see y'all Sunday.
No, Pastor. Y'all fall off the Sunday after Easter. Y'all go kind of weak now.
Oh, no. We get some done. Hey, we don't get tired. I
appreciate it.
All right. Y'all have a great night. Love y'all. Good night.
Okay.